Welcome to the fourth live broadcast of the summer, where we are talking about how to add Feng Shui to your life and to your already beautiful emerging designs in your home, and how you can add Feng Shui to add deeper meaning to your space. So welcome. My name is Erica Meyer, and I am a Feng Shui enthusiast. I'm an architect who has used Feng Shui in my personal life for over 15 years, and I think it has transformed my life. And I think it is a system, a framework, a language that is hiding right here in plain sight. And so I want to share my experience with the world of YouTube so you can have enhance your dreams and hopes and make this work in this lifetime. So thank you. If you are watching at a later date, because right now I'm just talking to myself, it's fine, which is fine as a little microscopic creator that I am. You watching in the future, you have the benefit of chapters. I will put in post editing. I'm learning all the things. Post edit some chapters so you can skip to what you want to watch. And I request, if at all possible, please make comments. I have received just a handful of comments over the last 6 months on my videos, and they teach me so much. So if you would kindly make a comment about things that you like, things that you're like, call me on the BS meter, like, have at it. I really appreciate your perspective on these ideas. I really want to build a community where it is okay to talk about these very esoteric ideas that can be incorporated into interior design. So thank you, thank you, thank you. In today's video, we are going to, because I don't have that many questions, I turned to my friend ChatGPT and asked specifically. I know that 54% of my viewers thus far are between the age of 25 and 34. So, I queried ChatGPT and said, what would this age group really want to know about Feng Shui? Give me some questions. And it generated a bunch. And then I thought, well, the next age group, 35 to 44, that's 20%. So would the questions change for that demographic? And they did slightly, and there were some interesting insights into that. And then finally, I'm like, well, I'm 52. What does my, 45 and beyond, what are they thinking about, and how can I help them? So I decided to take my 3 favorite questions from each group, and that's what we're going to be covering today. So thank you for watching, and thank you for liking, subscribing, sharing with friends that this might help them as well. And before we begin, I want to follow up from last week and tell you about, after I left. So I love the framework of Feng Shui. Feng Shui is wind and water, understanding the energies that move through our home and how they impact our lives. And once you pay attention to it and certain aspects, there are 9 sectors that the Feng Shui, it's called a Bagua. It started with a compass. There are these 9 areas of your career, health, love, relationships, family, creativity. Why are they in these sectors? It's a 9 square grid. I think it's very logical. I went into some of that last week, but I really wanted to find out. I need more, right? So I need more. So I went down to the public library and pretty much checked out all the Feng Shui books. So if you live in the Cincinnati area, you can have them back next week. I'll give them back to you then. And it was great to be back in the library. I love the library, and I had forgotten how much I loved the library. It was a place of independence. When I was a little kid, we lived very close to the library, and that was like the one place that I was allowed to go on my own and sit and get the Garfield comic books and find a little nook and read all that I wanted. And then in college, I worked at the architectural library. And so I would see all of the disciplines returning their books, working on their thesis, and I would restack them and get to see all of these beautiful books. So in getting the physical books and having to go to that spot in the library and looking at the shelf with all the Feng Shui books from, not just the current editions, but things that were printed back in the 90s and earlier, right? Yeah, it's such a yummy experience, honestly, to like have all that knowledge in front of you. And also what I enjoyed is that, yes, I'm looking up Feng Shui, but right next to it was this book, Vatsu Vidya, which is the Indian Feng Shui. There we go. Oh. You can have this book back. And now I've heard of this before. I've heard of it, but I haven't yet had a chance to explore it. And, they're stacked right next to each other. So we'll do some exploring of this practice in the future. I think that it is, they call it the Indian Feng Shui. I got 2 books out. It does say, don't mix this up with Feng Shui. Choose a path. And maybe so. Like, I think that's a good place to begin. Like, choose a path and be on the path. But once you learn the rules of that path, I think you can start to mix them. I think it naturally happens that we incorporate. And when we hold ourselves to very like, it's this way or the highway, our lives condense like they, and we really want to expand our lives. It makes me think of a childhood friend when I went over to her house, came home and reported to my mom, she's not allowed to mix the Play-Doh colors. She's only allowed to have 1 Play-Doh at a time. No 2 Play-Dohs, shall meet. And while there can be a lot of exploration in life and like interesting things that develop out of that, you got to mix the Play-Doh sometimes. So go ahead and mix the Play-Dohs. One thing that I noticed in reviewing these books is the living room should be open. And personally, I love this. I personally hate coffee tables. They hit your shins. They're full of junk most of the time. I would prefer to have that open space to, do yoga while watching TV or play with your kids or play with your animals. So ditch coffee tables. That's going to be one of my things here. Okay, so in exploring the library and taking out all the books, so many of them relate to siting of architecture, where the winds are coming from, mountains, the water. But I really want to know more about the aspects of life. And it wasn't until this book here, I got to learn how to, there we go. Nope, there we go. Crafting for Good. This came from the 90s. And there are some interesting craft projects that are pretty dated. I don't know if we would necessarily do them today, but here on page 24, it says the Bagua shown below is very popular amongst Westerners and originated with the Compass school of Feng Shui. Popular amongst Westerners. And it just, that feels a little elitist to me somehow. I think that the, Feng Shui is a practice that is 3,000, 4,000 years old, probably older, and we just don't know the records of it. And it's finding a secure place to live. And once you have a secure place to live, I mean, they contemplated, why the heck am I here? You contemplate, like, why am I here on this earth? Now I am safe and I'm able to feed my family. Why? What am I doing here? Right. So I think it probably related right to the beginning. Right from the start, had these 9 aspects, but I still, I want confirmation that they agree with my standpoint. Before I go to my cute slides that I love so much, I do want to show you, just 3 of my personal home library books that I do love a lot. All 3 of them you can buy on Amazon, but I don't yet have affiliate links. So just go and support these fantastic people. The first one is our friend Cliff Tand, 5 languages. He's amazing. He is also an architect. So, there is a architectural way that, that just speaks to me. So great book. He covers all aspects, but, it's not necessarily talking about he covers color, light. He covers all the things, but he doesn't dive into the prosperity Bagua. He doesn't dive into relationships and that. He doesn't go there. And that's what I want, right? That's what gets me going. This book, The Soulful Home by Natalia Kalin. She is who was my first personal Feng Shui consultant who helped fix the things in my house. And this book is great because she does room by room, a lot of room by room suggestions, and she has YouTube videos as well. So highly recommend checking out both the book and YouTube for room by room. We'll eventually get there. But again, I feel like these aspects of our life are not talked about enough. So that is that's going to be my go-to passion here. But this lady, move your stuff, change your life. Here we go. These chapters are about love and relationship. They are about creativity, helpful people and travel, family, health. So bam, she's got it. Now, what is confusing about this book is she uses the BTB method where her Bagua, can I do it there? Well, you set it to the front door. So you take your 9 square grid. Give me a 9 square grid. Here we go. 9 square grid. And you orient it to where your career is at your front door. And I have a problem with that. I understand why it could be that way. Because if you put your career, if you place your front door, if you align your front door and the career Bagua together, then it automatically puts your wealth corner at the far back corner to protect it, to protect your wealth, to gain all the wealth. Cool. But I don't like that because it's for 2 reasons. It's fear-based, that you need to hide your money all the way back there. I don't like that. And the reason why I love the Bagua is it's based on the sun. And so we're also creating this connection within our home to the sun, the planets, the everything outside, and how it relates to areas of prosperity. And I'll show you that now. Let me share screen and share this guy. Okay. And here we go. Here is the compass that I love, the Bagua. This is when it's a 9 square grid, it's a Bagua. Now, because I'm an architect in North America, in the Northern Hemisphere, I learned that most plans, for the plans that I would review as an architect, north is at the top. So again, I needed the Bagua to be north at the top of the page so I can look at a plan and make them match. That's what I need. So all of these other books, it is the same. I'm just taking it and spinning it around. So north is at the top. And let me make sure I'm clicking on this. Okay, great. So for all of us, the sun rises in the east, no matter where we are in the world, rises in the east, sets in the west. So these three verticals that you see here, southeast, east, northeast, they represent, that vertical to me represents the morning, and these three aspects of the morning that are so important: prosperity and abundance, being grateful for that. And then the intuitive, like logical part is like your abundance grows like when it is placed in the sun and watered first thing in the morning and has that attention to it, and you're grateful for it. There you go. So that's why I think it's there in the southeast. Also on the east is your family and strengthening your family, especially thousands of years, and even today, like to have a big family is lovely. And if you don't have a big family, you end up creating a big family with friends, even people online. You're creating that community that's so important to feed our soul and to know that we've, survived the long, cold night. You check in with that family. And then in the northeast is spirituality and knowledge, which again, so many practices say, first thing in the morning, do your meditation, say your prayers, enter your gratitude journal, whatever that may be, or read, the great classics, right? Expand your mind. So first thing in the morning, when you have these private moments together in the morning. The next, this vertical piece here is, I think, represents the midday. So midday will start at the top. In the north is your purpose, your career. That's, oftentimes, I think in that book that I just showed you, she names that chapter career, right? So hopefully your purpose and your career are aligned, or the goal is to align them. And that is, so it's filling your day. This vertical is like the midday. Health at the center. Health is at the center of everything. And when that is going great, everything flourishes. Eat that big healthy meal at the center of the day. I don't know. And then in the south is reputation, and the world's greatest, biggest spotlight is the sun. And so, are you living to that potential and those, what do you want to be known for? And yeah, there you go. That's the midday. And then the most western side, as the sun is setting, the day is done. You've done your hard work. You reconnect with your partner, relationships in the southwest, and you watch that beautiful sunset together, and you found a partner to be secure and carry you through the cold, dark night, right? That I think is so key and important. And then in the west, this is creativity, joy, children. Maybe you're reconnecting with your children at the end of the day. If you don't have children, you're reconnecting with those passion projects, and you're going to a pottery class or writing that novel or whatever lights you up and makes you feel creative. You have that time to be in your woodworking shop. And then in the northwest is that aspect of life that we're trying to enhance. It's helpful people. It's often said in other, helpful people, travel, and being in the right place at the right time. And I think it's your dreams. So all it kind of at the end of the day, I love how these three stack up. So if you are also a Feng Shui enthusiast and you have proof that these are aligned and it's not just Erica's old, well, I don't know. It's just not I want it grounded in these. Yeah. Somebody's got to know. So please share, let me know. Okay. Then the other part of it, so we can also, now I'm in the Northern Hemisphere. This was created in China. So their south is warmer, their north is cooler. If you are watching from the Southern Hemisphere, thank you very much. And you are just going to flip this down. So just always think when we're going horizontally, warmer, right? So in this lowest bar that I've highlighted ever so slightly here, maybe next time I'll use a more dramatic color. These three aspects are very public. If you are living an abundance, prosperous, gratitude-filled life, it shows. Your reputation shows. Your relationship shows. They're very public, I think, of these 9. So that makes a lot of sense to me. The next layer, going further north, are more shared aspects. Obviously, family is a shared aspect. Our health impacts others, and creativity impacts others. If we're creating children or pieces of artwork, masters of artwork, that creativity is shared. So shared spaces. And then in the north are the most personal and private. Your relationship to your higher power in the Northeast, whatever that may be, your personal purpose in the North, and then helpful people in your dreams in that Northwest. Like, these are so personal. And so that's what I also love. And so I didn't find what I wanted, like validation in the library in books yet, but we will deliver people. So, and I think we need this validation so you can be like, yeah, I'm in. When selecting materials for my East, I am going to employ these principles because I think it makes some sense. It's sort of logical to me. It's logical to me. That's why I'm sharing it. And so also, but I think it was in a video, maybe with Cliff Tan or another book that I haven't yet found it. They talked about energies. So we have water. Oh, the elements, right? So water, earth. Did you see how that bounced? I love it. Heavy. Wood grows. Metal condenses. They didn't have a good spinny thing, and then fire, right? Fire radiates. These elements are metaphors for different energies. Isn't that neat? So Feng Shui is the moving energy, the qi through your house, and that qi is different at different times. Water is a flowing energy. It changes phases. It can be ice and water and snow. It can be at the top, wavy and bumpy and tidal waves, and at the base, like deep water is calm and dark, right? So it can change all. Earth is heavy and a grounding energy. So these are just talking about different kinds of energy. You felt these energies in spaces. That's what's cool about it. Wood is a growing vertical energy. You feel uplifted. You've been in those spaces. So like in a cathedral where it's uplifting, those columns, that big volume, yeah, it's your spirit grows. I love that. And then metal is discerning and condensing. Metal is earth condensed, is minerals condensed. So it is that really strategic kind of energy, the and then fire, of course, fire radiates. And yeah, so there we go. A little recap of my love and passion and enthusiasm for Feng Shui and why we all should employ it in our homes. So now let's get to your questions that Chat GPT thinks that you may have if you are 25 to 34. Here we go. How can I incorporate Feng Shui principles into a small apartment? This is key. So in this image here, we see my first apartment that I had Feng Shui by Natalia. And the most important part was knowing the center of the home and which way is north. And then I could figure out which way all of these aspects of our lives. You can start to see down here in the relationships, career, family. And then that's when you can, I've got like in your career, dark blue water bottle. This is, yeah, super cool. Beautiful, right? Then you can start with objects. How can I incorporate? You just start with these little objects, but you need to know which way is north. And even if you're in a big apartment complex, I think like paying credence to like that, you know, where the sun is rising on the east side of your apartment and where it's setting, even if you don't have a view out, because like that's where the circulation corridor for all the apartments is, that you need to know the center. So I think that's the most important part. Let's go on to the next. What are some common Feng Shui mistakes that people make in modern homes? Well, dear friends, they take it too far. And this is my den that's right below where I'm sitting right now. And I took it too far just 2 years ago when I was 50. I know that I'll get to how I've taken it too far many different times in my 20s and in my 30s. I'll show you here. So I painted this green. Oh, and I have these paint colors. This is the oak moss that I wanted to prove how into Feng Shui I am, right? And let me just stop sharing this for a moment so you can see. Stop sharing. Yeah. Okay. So this is the green. I love moss. I know it's a weird thing, but I was like, oh my gosh, this green is called oak moss. So I'm going for it. And right behind me, this is artichoke. What you could see, and let me share it once again. Oh, yeah, sure. Can we share? Sure. Yeah. Okay, here we go. All of the artwork was here. All of the furniture was here. This bright purple carpet came later. And I forced this oak moss into this space. And I was like, and I think the magic of computer cameras, digital cameras, like it sort of picks it up here, but it's not the ideal color. My husband said that, and dear husband, you're right. And we're going to have to paint again. And maybe we'll paint next week while my son's at camp. We'll see. But so taking it too far, but it's paint, right? And all of those other objects we love. The purple carpet, I did keep the original light blue carpet. So we'll see how that transforms. So oftentimes people take these ideas too far. I took it too far in my first apartment. It wasn't a Feng Shui thing, but love of color. I love this bright orange, reddish color. And I painted a very narrow corridor with this color, all 4 walls. And honestly, once I was done, I was afraid that like the pizza delivery guy was going to kill me when I opened the door. Like it just was too much, too narrow of a space. So I softened it and painted 3 of the 4 walls with a, kind of like a blue gray color. These are not the exact colors. It was a long, long time ago. But, with paint, go, just be prepared. Be prepared to do it again. And, it's more interesting than playing video games at night, maybe. I don't know. But red, there we go. These colors. And then in my 30s, once I was finally getting into Feng Shui and had that book, I decided that I knew that red was a passionate color. So, and I was desperate to create love in my life. So this is just a representation, but I knew that my bedroom needed love and passion and attraction. So I bought this IKEA duvet cover that was hot pink and red. Now this just shows you how much I love hot pink and red, that I was able to still find an object within my house to share with you guys. And when the Feng Shui consultant showed up, she was like, I understand what you were going for. You were trying, but it is a desperate plea for love. Tone it down a bit, girl, because you want your bedroom to be calm. So I do still have what I shifted it to. And what I bought was a duvet cover that was this. This is from Crate and Barrel. It's much more organic. It's much calmer. And it worked. It worked. It changed the energy of that room. And when my husband came, I was a calmer person of like, I'm ready for a relationship. So there we go. Be prepared to take it too far. That's I think the common mistake is we go too far, we rush in, and then maybe the real mistake is that we don't correct it. We don't go back and correct it. Own up to it. You got excited. You did something. Now just go correct it and find something else. And if you purchase something, give it away. Okay. And then here's the other thing, objects. Now, I think it's Joey Yap. He's another Bazi Feng Shui, like superpower on YouTube. And I heard him in an interview with Alex Ferrari on Next Level Soul, I'm pretty sure. And he was like, if you are buying Feng Shui objects and putting them all over your house, and it looks like a terrible Chinese restaurant with too much, no, you want a calm house. In the video that I did about this room in the southeast corner, it's one of the first videos I made, I suggested buying this money toad because, again, it is a suggested thing to enhance. However, I did not. I said I would. However, in that video, I said I would buy this money toad, and I decided not to because this does not appeal to me. This object does not appeal to me. Someday in my travels, if I find a cute toad that somehow reminds me of that and it sparks that joy in me, cool. But I mean, honestly, this particular frog does not spark that joy. Now, I do have some other Feng Shui objects like that coin. So I'm not going to turn my back this week because last time I turned my back, my one viewer left. So you can see those coins back there. My first Feng Shui consultant, she recommended buying that. I think it's pretty. And all Feng Shui consultants give like an annual update where to move these objects within your home to enhance that energy. It reminds me of her. It reminds me of prosperity and abundance and gratitude and that which I want to, keep working on. So that I like. And then also during that time, this is called a walu. Maybe did I say it right? I don't know. Walu. And it's made out of brass. It's heavy and it's intricate. And I think it's an interesting object. Again, it reminds me of my time with her. I move it around per her recommendations in the annual Flying Star updates. But I'm not buying that money frog. So yet. We'll see. Never say never. Okay. On to the next slide. How can I use Feng Shui to create a more productive home office space? And again, now these are the questions for 25 to 35. However, I think they apply to everybody. Like all of these questions, secretly, it doesn't matter what your age is, but I think they are. I do like how ChatGPT said that, 25 to 35-year-olds are setting up a new home, right? And we'll get to the next age group then. So how can I use Feng Shui to create a more productive home office space? This is an image that I pulled from Reddit. And when you are moving from your family's home, from a dormitory, from a housing situation with lots of roommates, and you finally have your own space, separate the spaces. Now, I don't know if this person has, a whole apartment to work with, but oftentimes I feel that I do see on Reddit and the male living space that because you've, for the first 24 years, you have been in that like shared space and you only get your one bedroom in your family home. Maybe so many people, right? Maybe others have more opportunities to spread out in their home. But lots of times kids, they have, their little dominion is their room. So they're jamming everything they can in that room. And when you are an adult, you get to expand into a larger space. So do that, separate your bedroom and your home office, and you will immediately be more productive. Now, once you get your office into a separate space, and this obviously, given the ceiling, is most likely a commercial office space, but it doesn't matter if it's at home or a commercial office. Your desk needs to be in the command position, which this is half in the command position. The person sitting in this chair can see the photographer. They can see who's walking by their office. They can see who's coming in while they're working on their computer. They can see who's coming in to ask a question or give them a big bonus check. But what they can't see is if there's a tornado outside or some other things going on outside. Like Cliff Tan always has monkeys and birds attacking you from the windows, right? So the better position then is to have, for this person, all they need to do is spin their desk 90 degrees so that big blank green wall is behind them. Just like this. I've got windows over here, windows are here, and the door is here. I can see what's going on in this office. Same with this picture here. There's a window, the photographer is obviously standing at a door, and they've got this beautiful display. You want this, it doesn't need to be a bookshelf. I think this can be very overwhelming. Obviously, like I like more less objects behind me. But whatever it is, like that is right for that person to have all of those objects. Pardon. Okay, and I've got to roll because I've got to pick up my kids soon. So now we're moving on to 35 to 45, who ChatGPT is saying that you are more likely creating home space for your family. So how can I create a calm, supportive environment for my family using Feng Shui? This applies, it doesn't matter what age you are, but when you're in that home building for your family, this is what you need to start considering is the base personality of who lives in that house. So in my house, so you get these charts, and at ericasharing.com, if you go there, I will give you this PDF for free, and links will be below. There, you can figure out what your annual element is. Mine is water. My husband's is earth. My child is also water. Now, these are annual, but we are made up of all the elements. And I can be fiery at times. I can be very stable or stubborn at times, maybe earth. I can be very decisive. Like, we can be all of these things, growth mindset, strategic. We can be all of these things, but it's a starting point to recognize that each of us has different mixes of these energies and thrive in different spaces. So this is a starting point. And, I enjoyed that. I like that. When I learned I was water, I want to be deep and flowing and going flexible and going with the flow. I like that. But I also have a lot of passion too. So we're not going to just be one thing. And then once you've acknowledged that everybody in your home, it has a special, unique energy, give them a space, be it in a mudroom, in shared, in their personal bedrooms. You need to honor them by giving them dominion over a little space of your home and letting them have that. So create systems. There we go. Okay, next. What are the best Feng Shui practices for reducing stress and promoting better sleep in a busy household? And hands down, it is, and no electronics in your bedroom. If you want to sleep better, there's no need for a TV. There's no need for your phones necessarily. Okay, don't look at them. If you need your phone in your bedroom because you're concerned that you might have emergency phone calls, fine, but get it away from your head. Try not to. And that's the number one thing, the minimal amount of electronics. And then once we're there, there's symmetry. So within this primary bedroom, each partner has one side of the bed. They're equal. They've got these lovely glowing nightstand. They've got these lovely glowing table lamps, warm glow at night. And, this one's pretty lovely with these canopies. Maybe if too many books, too much artwork, and oh yeah, look at those books. Those are energy, right? So if you want to reduce stress, find another place for those great energetic books somewhere else in your home. And the same goes for children's room. They need their space as well. And I love the symmetry of this image. So, all right. Next, I've collected a lot over the years. How do I declutter meaningfully without losing my history? We all have this conundrum of, wanting to show off what we've done, where we've been. But then there's just so much. So one creative way that I love this image, right? So I am assuming that these little scissors mean something to this collector. It means, hopefully it means, there's a story attached to each one of these, and they have created a container. And then there is a limit to that container. So perhaps they had gone crazy with these little scissors and had a collection of 10 times as many. And they went through and, go through, and those that stand out, you have a limiting container, and the stories that stand out, keep those. There's going to be a lot that go ahead, let them go. Let another collector enjoy that and create another story that they can share. So I just thought that was a lovely way of doing it. Gallery walls, right? And this is a gallery wall, so that you can display your history now, and do that in public spaces. Again, like if you put it in a bedroom, and it can be distracting. Definitely you don't need it in a bedroom. And if you're put it in your office and you're not like super jazzed about what your current work is, it may cause daydreaming and distractions and other things. So put it in public spaces, either, corridors, dining room, entry halls, something where it's going to start a conversation and you can then tell that story. Or just make a book, make a photo book, and, save your packing. You don't need all of the tchotchkes, all of the souvenirs. Take a picture of it, and your suitcase will be lighter on the way home, and you will enjoy that. You can also, if you did buy the souvenir, again, take a picture of it. Take a picture of your home as it is right now, the before and after. You'll have that always in your memory repertoire. Okay, now these are the questions that ChatGPT thought that the people who are 45 and older would want to know about Feng Shui. But again, it doesn't matter what age you are, health and longevity are for everybody, right? So where in my home should I focus if I want to prioritize health and longevity? And per the Bagua, that is in the circle appears, the center of your home is for health and thus longevity. And that is where, so there we go. So you're going to declutter. And here, this is an image of my home. Take those outer points, find the center of your home. That is where health is located. That's where, that is where you're going to want to declutter. Think of it this way. You want clean arteries so you don't have a heart attack or a stroke. So in the center of your home, you want that clean and clutter-free. There you go. There. Enough said. How do I use space to support a spiritual practice or deeper reflection in this stage of my life? And again, I don't think you should wait until you're 45 and older to have a spiritual practice. If our society supported the spiritual practice earlier, like we all might get to this higher level of consciousness sooner and be more happy together. And I think that's happening. So again, I don't really want to create the ageism here. So it is the northeast sector of your home in the Feng Shui Bagua, that beginning of the day, that spiritual practice or knowledge base. And so having your library, having that cozy nook, your library, all the books that are going to expand your mind, and having that place to read. Or it can be an outside space, but this lovely space to sit and look at nature, contemplate, meditate, whatever your practice may be. And finally, our last slide for today is, what is the most loving way to design my home, not just for me, but for those who visit or care for me? And this one's a hard one. Again, is it hard? It's not hard because it always starts with decluttering and the gentle art of Swedish death cleaning. It sounds so crazy, but if you want to take care of the people who are, if you want to take care of them now for when you need their help in the future, get the clutter out. Get the bags of unopened paper, or like, get that out so they can get to your medical records, so they can get to your valuables, so they can get to the things that mean the most to life, and you so they can get to the things that mean the most in life to you quickly. So you can, photo albums, right? So they can pull out photo albums and you can go through those photo albums together. And I think that is what you can do right now to take care of your future caretakers, is clean your space, make it organized so it's simple for them. One of my greatest joys in my kitchen is when my brother came to visit and he wanted to make dinner for us all. And he gave me the compliment. He's like, everything is exactly where I would expect. Like, and yeah, I got that from Martha Stewart, right? But the drawer on this side, like the pans and the pots, it all works with like the easiest way. When you're cooking, what do you need? Like the spatulas, they're right there. The spoons are over there. It's all very intuitive. So you don't need to like open up every single drawer or cabinet to find what you need, where the plate is, where the cup is. Same principle, like to be able to have somebody come into your home and know how to take care of you and what you love the most. So, thank you so much for watching once again. Please let me remind you how much your comments mean to me, how they help me improve and know how I can help you create a beautiful home. You're doing it. You're doing it, and we want to give you this extra layer, this framework, this language, this beautiful system that will help you manifest all that you need, want, makes your life richer and better. So, bye. I love you all. See you again. Ciao. The long goodbye.